Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting and may transmit the meeting to any media attendees are therefore advised such recording and transmission are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and deemed acknowledged and permissible. Roll call.
Councilor Stephen Kamara.
Here.
Councilor Bradford Kilby.
Here.
Chairman, Councilor Clancy.
Yeah. Citizen input time? I don't see nobody here.
No comments.
Number 2 on the agenda, minutes of the meeting, July 15, 2019. Have a motion?
Motion to adopt the minutes
Second.
for approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And number 3 on the agenda, communication from the mayor in order of land acquisition of 903 Pierce Street, lot 7030016, referred 7/15/19. Could I have Mr. Ferlin? And if you can give your new title.
Paul Ferlin, Administrator of Community Utilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is that the first time you've had to express your title?
In City
At a
Council
council?
chambers, yes.
It didn't take long.
No, it
He
hasn't.
was on the phone right away. He wanted the meeting. Here we are. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Could you fill us in? I know most of it, but I'm sure my colleagues want to understand what's going on at this point.
Yep, so what you have in front of you tonight is a lot at 903 Pierce Street, lot P-030016. It's the corner of Pierce and Farnham Street. This piece was owned by a property that, the house was on Newport Street, so they owned the lot that the house on Newport Street was on, and this was essentially behind their house, ran all the way through to Pierce Street. The person that lived in the house on Newport Street, the estate owned the house at the time, and they were looking at it, and they subdivided the parcel up, so it wasn't one full parcel anymore, front from Newport Street all the way to Pierce Street. The house was left in the parcel on Newport Street, and another parcel was behind it on Pierce Street. The area on Pierce Street is the low point of this whole entire neighborhood. So all the drainage from the surrounding area comes down to this low point. We've run into lots like this in the Hancock Street area, down off of Division Street and other areas. They were looking, the owners of the property had the house on the market. They had some people look at it. We were under the feeling with the sewer division, if another house is built there, there's going to be flooding issues with the house that's put there, plus then it also may impact the neighbors surrounding the area. So we went in, we talked to the owners, we've come up with a price, which they've accepted, and we would like to move forward on that. The purchase of this lot is actually a cost savings measure for the city. So this is all within the Crestbrook drainage area, which we've done a lot of work in Lower Crestbrook, which goes through Oak Grove Cemetery, down Easton Avenue. So all that lower section of Crestbrook was taken care of. But the Phase 2, after we evaluate the benefits of Phase 1, which was the lower section, is to get into this upper section of the Crestbrook and make improvements in that drainage area as well. Because the drainage area starts up next to Truesdale Clinic, runs all the way down through this neighborhood, picks up the drainage in this area, and continues down. But there still are bottlenecks and low points within this area. So by buying this lot, this will allow us to be able to possibly not have to do that Phase 2 of the Crestbrook project. It also gives us an area within this drainage basin to be able to do green infrastructure potentially in the future on this lot, so do some type of rain garden or infiltration, which is currently used for now.
Okay, Council Kilby?
Yep, just looking at the appraisal,
Use your mic.
Mr. Ferrell. Just looking at the appraisal for the benefit of the people watching the meeting.
Yes,
77,000.
correct.
And what's the consideration or purchase price?
77,000.
Okay. That's all question I have. I think the justification is there for it, and we're not paying, we're paying what the market is dictating, so I yield.
Council Camara?
Thank you. I'm very familiar with this lot. It's just a block away from my house on LeBaron Street, pretty much in straight line, one block south of LeBaron. And when it was advanced as a possible buildable lot, there was a great deal of opposition from the neighbors, particularly around Pear Street. So I don't see any problem with moving ahead on this, but is there any prospect for the lot between this house and, it's interesting, this is showing pretty much the house that's on Newport Street, the corner of Newport and Farnham's Paper Street, right?
Correct.
Is there any intent at any point that you know of for Farnham Street to be opened?
Not that I'm aware of. You know, there was, when we looked at possible drainage improvement options, was to use that Farnham Street and run drainage through there, not to build a road or construct a road or anything, but to my knowledge, you know, we'd be purchasing that lot for conservation purposes only, our lot. The house that is on Newport Street, according to the assessors, there is another separate lot behind there. I don't know if that's buildable or not. That would be, and if it wasn't buildable, they would have to go for a variance, but that's a very, that would be a very small lot to be able to put a house on.
It would be a very small lot, although it's not much smaller than the lot where the house that faces Newport Street is.
Yeah.
And this appears to be the expanded house, because that house recently went through quite an expansion. So
Yeah, an expansion and addition, they went through, we final sided, the house looks nice, and that second lot that you're talking about is actually what they use for their backyard.
Right. Now, are we buying this lot from the family that lives on Newport Street?
Not the one that lives there currently, so they subsequently sold the house on Newport Street. We're buying it from the original, I believe it's the heirs to the people that lived on Newport Street previously.
Okay. And buying this as a conservation plot, is there any prospect or is there any possibility of turning it into a passive kind of recreational area or a sort of a mini park kind of thing? Is there any possibility of that?
Again, I think this lot in this area would be very tough. There would have to be, you know, there would have to be, again, drainage improvements made to be able to take that water. If you've been by there during heavy rainstorms, the street in that area floods out, and also that lot does as well. So to bring the grade up in that lot, the way that we look at it right now, would be difficult to be able to still retain that water in that area and not push it elsewhere.
Okay, and then the other thing is that lot often has become extremely overgrown. I think there was recently a cleanup, was that your department that did a cleanup on the sidewalk area?
It wasn't ours, it might have been DCM, I believe.
DCM. So upon acquiring this property, it would become under the jurisdiction of the water department?
Sewer will be purchased.
The sewer department.
Yes.
So would the sewer department then be responsible for keeping it clean and cutting back the growth that inevitably blocks off the sidewalk?
Yes, so we do that with multiple of our lots that we buy for conservation to try to keep it, you know, we don't go in there and it's not a manicured lawn, but we do try to keep it where the edge of the roadway is passable for pedestrians, so.
Okay, and have you communicated to the abutters to this property your intent?
Originally, we haven't communicated that we're looking to purchase it. Originally, when there was builders looking at the lot, we did have contact from multiple residents in the area that actually asked us to oppose, you know, building there due to the flooding. They provided us pictures and everything. We haven't spoken to them about the purchase, though.
Okay, and then finally, you've mentioned that you've done this in a few other places in Fall River. Have any of those places become any kind of recreational or community use facility, or have they just been protected land that you just keep people off of?
So there are particular areas down across the street from our wastewater treatment plant on Bay Street. There's a large open field there that's available for use. That's the terminus of our tunnel. It's a lot bigger lot down there.
Is that across from Mike's Auto Body?
No, this is down to the south, next to the wastewater plant,
Okay.
right on the Tiverton line.
Yep.
We also have the tree farm down there that's actually sewer department land that we allow them to use for the urban tree farm. So there are multiple spots where we do that when we can, when we feel that it's in the best interest.
Okay. I'm a member of the Highland Neighborhood Association Board. They meet tomorrow. No, they meet Wednesday.
Okay.
So I will support this evening, and I will also bring it to their attention because, I think it's something that they should be aware of, and, and
Yeah.
I'll explain as best as I can.
If you'd like me
that
to
it's-
attend.
If you'd like to attend, we meet at 6:30 at the Spencer Boarding School, Chestnut Street entrance. And that's Wednesday at 6:30. Yeah, and that would be a good thing to have you there to answer questions. It's just a small group, but I'm sure they'd be interested in what's happening at this particular location. And with that, I yield, and I would so move that we act on the order.
Okay, second, and, all right, I can speak now, right?
Yeah.
Jim.
Do anything you
I
want.
don't wanna make sure.
You're the boss.
How big is that parcel?
10,800 square feet plus or minus.
And then they wanted to buy it to put how many houses on there?
From what I heard originally, they were gonna put one house on it.
Just one house, yeah. All right, I think the city's going in the right direction. The people up there don't seem to want it. And you guys think that we shouldn't sell it to anybody else, so. Now, you got the option, how long is the option for?
So we just got an extension on our purchase and sales, which will bring us out for another 2 months, which with council approval, I feel we'll be able to close within that time frame.
Yeah, so it'll come here and go to the council, and then all the paperwork would be done by yous or Macy?
The majority of the paperwork, so Arthur Frank is actually the attorney that we hired to take care of the closing on this piece of property.
Okay, so you feel that we can get it done within the time frame?
Yes.
Now, you got a deposit on this, or how's that work?
Yes, so there was a purchase and sales. We do have a deposit out, fully refundable if it doesn't go through.
Yeah.
That's something that we put in as a
So
stipulation.
nobody come in and say, look, I wanna buy it, I'll give you 200,000 for it, that's it, right?
Correct.
All right, I just wanna make sure everything's in the right order here, and this is the way to go. My committee members are right. And the motion was, Steve,
To adopt the order.
in second. Motion to adopt the order, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and,
Motion to adjourn.
motion adjourned made, all in favor?
Aye.
And thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You're gonna